On today's episode,
no, it's not about the numbers. It's about communication and talking to people and understanding what makes them tick and understanding what their problems are and what their worries are. There's other firms of accountants there that are just churning the accounts out as a sausage factory. That is their model. But again, how can you offer that personal service if you're doing that? Where are we going to go with this business? What's the plan? Is it the south of France? Is it a cottage in Wales? What is it? Don't go off on the shiny things to the left and the right, and get distracted by what's actually bringing home the bacon.
So Andrew, welcome to the Chester Centurion podcast.
Thank you, Alan. It's a real treat to be here having a chat with you today. Thank you.
Oh, very good. Listen, before we get started, I'd love to know a little bit more about the business. Tell us about Mitchell Charlesworth.
Yes, so I have been there approaching 3 years now, and it's a breath of fresh air to go into the office, to work with a great team of people, that you enjoy being around and growing with and doing lots of things. I mean, the one thing I've taken from my experience at Mitchell Charlesworth is the depth of knowledge around the whole office, from helping people with the new Making Tax Digital to setting up companies, helping them grow, but also really esoteric things like creative industry tax credits, helping theatres and museums claim these tax credits. Everything you can imagine, there's people to help with around the practice, which is great from my point of view.
Wow, I love that. And so you're in the accountancy sector, you're helping business. It's quite a large business, Mitchell Charlesworth, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You're right. I mean, I think there's about 300 people in total now, to be quite honest with you, across, Chester, Manchester, Little Witness, Stockport. So we've got offices dotted around the northwest, basically. So yeah, it's growing there.
Very good. And when we start talking about the accountancy sector, there's a bit of, I don't know how I could phrase this nicely, but there is a perception that some accountants are quite arm's length when it comes to business owners. And please forgive me when I say that. What makes you guys different?
Bean counters, you mean, Alan?
Well, I wasn't going to say that, but we kind of had the opportunity to talk off air, Andrew, and I know that you guys do it different. I'd love to talk a little bit about that.
And you are right. And it's a little bit of a bugbear of mine that people want to be. I always remember when I was training, 25 years ago, the senior partner in the day said, no, it's not about the numbers. It's about communication and talking to people and understanding what makes them tick and understanding what their problems are and what their worries are, understanding where they want to get to with their business and helping them get there. It's not about the numbers in terms of sending out a set of accounts. It's about explaining those numbers to people who don't understand it. And it's a good point, that, because I think COVID, and since COVID, it's made accountants a little bit lazy, shall I say, because they will just do a set of accounts, 6 months after the year end and a tax return, put them on a portal or send them out via some sort of online system, send an email out, can you approve them, and then just file them with the revenue. And that's not what we're about. It's about helping clients understand that and where they're going with their business a little bit more than that, and having that relationship. And that's the enjoyable bit from my point as well, to be quite honest with you.
And are you seeing accountants swing back towards that sort of relationship building?
Some are, but some, I think, are going the other way, that they businesses want a little bit more of a service with a partner, don't they, with a person that's got a little bit of grey hairs. So I think that's the difference, and that can make all the difference with people when there's a little bit of experience there, to be quite honest with you.
Interesting.
And I struggle. There's other firms of accountants there that are just churning the accounts out as a sausage factory. That is their model. But again, how can you offer that personal service if you're doing that?
And I really like that. It's not about the numbers. It's about the people. It's about the business owner. It's about understanding what they want to achieve and helping them build those strategies.
It is. And, it's always, I always say to people, where are we going to go with this business? What's the plan? Is it the south of France? Is it a cottage in Wales? What is it that you want to strive to, basically, and get to? Is it just more time, taking some pressure away from yourselves? It's all of these sorts of things that's important, to the business owner, basically.
Very good. Listen, what are some of the misconceptions? I know you're a partner at Mitchell Charlesworth. What are some of the misconceptions about being at that senior management level, and how do you go about addressing?
I mean, that's a great question, and it's always the same thing, isn't it? It comes down to managing people and being good with your team, isn't it? And looking after them, because effectively it's them that sort of are the powerhouse of the firm behind and us who's at the top, basically. So it's, you think you're looking at accountants looking at numbers all the time, but it's not like that at all. It's about one, having those good relationships with the team back in the office that do the work and look after the clients, understand and keep them happy, because they keep the clients happy, basically. If you've got a good team and a happy team and you're doing your job properly as a partner looking after them, then they will look after the client naturally. So I think that's key to it.
Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? So most of your time is...
You're right. Most of the time is spent talking to them, talking to clients, and understanding what makes people tick. So
how do you create a happy team?
Oof.
I'm putting you on the spot, Andrew. I'm so sorry.
You really have, to be quite honest with you. I think it's about... One, I think it's first of all about having that relationship with them and not treating them that are like, I always remember somebody saying to me, they used to work with one partner, and then I took over and moved into that team. And I always went in on a Monday morning and asked them what they've been up to, what's going on, and how things are back at home, and have they done anything nice at the weekend. And they said to me that's the first time that a partner had ever asked them that, despite that somebody was at that lofty level. They just hadn't had that relationship. You've got to have that relationship with people to make them tick and be motivated to want to come into the office and do the job, basically. We're a long time in the office, and it's got to be a good place to work. That makes a big difference, to be quite honest with you. It's about having proper honest conversations with them. When things are not going well, talk to them and explain what's not going well, but also understanding, I think, what their expectations of the job is and what they want out of it, and making sure that we're giving them opportunities to grow, flourish and develop. And, we take on a number of trainees every year, and we hope they will progress up through the ranks in the business, basically, and grow. So that's what's about, giving people those opportunities from within.
It reminds me of, I'm a big fan of Patrick Lencioni. Anyone who knows me will know that.
Is it 5 Dysfunctions of a Team? I think that's really good book. Really good book.
And what you're talking about there with that relationship is the foundation, the base layer of the pyramid, if you remember, which is trust, building that trust. And I think any team is built on trust.
Yeah. It is. You're quite, and that's about having good communication, basically, with them and being able to talk to them. And you're not just there to do the accounts and get the numbers out and get the and the tax returns out. It's about having that relationships internally.
And then the honest, candid conversations. I think there's too many managers out there that will hide the fact they're disappointed with an employee and trying to avoid that conflict. So healthy conflict and healthy, honest, candid conversations, I think, go a long way.
It is. I was reading an article this morning by an accountancy-based coach person, and they said one of the things that they've added to their 90-day one-to-one meeting schedule was the question: if you were to hand your notice in tomorrow, why would you have done that? Basically, finding out what's going on, to solve that problem before it becomes a problem. And I thought that was a really strong question to get to the nub of. If there's any problems, what is it, basically?
It is a strong question if the environment is right, so you could feel safe answering it. And I think that's what you've done, Andrew. You've created that environment where people can have those types of conversations and be candid and open with everybody. I really like that. And I like the fact that, 300 people working for that firm, that doesn't happen by accident, and it will have its challenges. But if you create that environment for everybody to flourish, as you said, that's strong. That's strong.
Yeah. Well, it's the backbone of everything that we do, isn't it? You've got the good people, then you can go out and, look after clients well and grow the business, basically. So, as you say, you've got to look after them. As you say, not without challenges, though.
I'm trying to remember that it's almost right at the beginning of the book. There's a quote from Patrick, and he talks about a billionaire friend. He built a billionaire business. And he said, if you can have everybody in a team rowing in the same direction towards a common goal, you can dominate any industry in any market at any time. It was something like that. I might have got that a little bit wrong.
I'll do a little plug now, Alan, while I'm on this. Will it make the boat go faster? We're doing this at the business book club coming up in June. So we're going to be reviewing this book basically about, as you say, making sure everybody's in the same direction. So that's our next book we're reviewing at the business book club in Chester, 23rd of June.
Tell us about the business book club.
Well, this was something that I thought up, 12, 13 months ago at Christmas, a bit longer than that now, isn't it? We're in April now, so it's a year last Christmas. You've got lots of these business books, on your shelf, you buy them, you read a bit, and then you put them down, you don't look at them again, basically. And I thought, I've got all these things on my bookcase. So I put a post out on LinkedIn, does anybody fancy just doing a book club basically for business books, meeting up, every 2-3 months, holding ourselves accountable to actually reading these and understanding and having a proper conversation about, did we find it useful? Was it any good? What were the good bits? What didn't work? What could we use? And I remember one of the first books we did was Chris Voss Never Split the Difference. And there was an attendee there at that meeting, and she said, well, I've used some of the tactics in this book in her own debt collecting business. And I thought, wow, that's brilliant, that somebody's actually read the book because of the book club and changed some of the things they did. So there's been some good books and some okay books.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Voss is pretty special. I met him a couple of years ago, actually. I saw him speak live, and he's pretty cool. I think the Black Swan is the name of his company, I think, if I remember right.
Yes, it is. It is.
And I've used some of his tactics as well. I won't tell you where or how, but in my private life, let's put it that way. Listen, going back to the business, how do you maintain a healthy work-life balance? There must be a lot of pressure on you. Have you got any personal rituals or habits that keep you motivated and focused?
I'm an early riser. I get to the office early, about 7:30, but I like to knock off on time and get home for a good time, to be quite honest with you. So that's my kind of ritual that, use that first hour and a half of the day to get stuff done that I need to get done. So that's my sort of priority, get the frog eaten basically in that hour. And then, I like to have a free evening to get back home to the wife, basically. So that's my ritual to get things done, to maintain that healthy work-life balance. Yeah, sometimes it is difficult.
Go on. Sorry.
It's difficult. You've got a lot of work coming through and you've got to get things reviewed and done and out the door. So it is difficult at times. But I think, using prioritization and getting the big thing done early is key.
I'm an early riser, and I like to switch off when I get home as well. I close the laptop down and that's it. It's game over. But I mean, people have different energy levels throughout the day. And I think it's important to understand that, it's not all about, not everybody can rise early. Some people will rise late, but they'll work into the evening. I can't do that. I think everybody's different, and embracing that is quite important. Definitely. But I am definitely an early riser, and when I'm done, I'm done for the day. It's switch off and do meaningless stuff like take the dog a walk to the pub or whatever it may be, Andrew.
And you've got to have those things at the end of the day to turn your head off as well, to be quite honest with you. Have that ritual of leaving stuff that's not in the office back in the office, so that your wife doesn't get it in the net when you get home, basically.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think we're in a period of time now where business is changing faster than we've ever seen it change in our lifetime, and it's not going to slow down. If anything, we're going to keep going faster and faster and faster. How do you stay adaptable to change? Are there any specific strategies you use to sort of remain innovative?
Well, really interesting. 20 years ago, we had one computer per 3 or 4 people when I first started off in accountancy, and it was still paper files. So there's been huge amounts of change in the accountancy sector from using 16-column analysis paper to spreadsheets to integrated software to cloud software, and it is all change. We've got Making Tax Digital for income tax that's just come in, just on the 6th of April, just started basically. You have just got to be open to new things. And I've always been interested in tech and what's going on in that world. You've got to use it to your advantage and keep on top of it, because it will overtake you, and you'll be playing catch up. So it's always, I always say, look what's going on, see what other people are doing, learn from what's worked well and what's not gone so well, and then you can sort of use the best in class and the best in breed software or AI or whatever it is to drive the business, basically. But I think we've all just got to keep our mind open to all of these things, but be aware of the pitfalls as well. I've seen things come and go. 18 months, 2 years ago, there was a software company came on, that would have integrated AI into Xero, but 2 years down the line, they've not got the funding and it's gone by the wayside. And now Xero is doing it themselves and Claude is being integrated into Xero as well. So how on earth that little business would have ever survived now? It's all change all the time, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And I think if you do embrace technology to do the heavy lifting, it means you spend more time building those relationships and having meaningful conversations with your clients.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're looking at things that can be integrated into Xero to do exactly that will give some insight to the client that you can open up and have them use that to have the conversations with people. So it's all about that.
Very good. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, Andrew, but I've got one big question left for you. And, if we've got this business book club, then I expect a really good answer to this question, Andrew. Okay. No pressure. But what are the 3 biggest pieces of advice that you could offer a young entrepreneur thinking about starting their business?
3 pieces of advice. I always talk to people about where they are now, where they want to be and how they're going to get there. So always bear that in mind when you're starting out in business. What is the end goal with your business, in 3 years' time or 5 years' time or whatever it might be? Where do you want to get to? And I just really like that now, where, how sort of framework that I use with clients. So that works really well. Another piece of advice I always used to say, and I remember this from 20 odd years ago when I used to sort of do startup advice to the Business Link back in the day, think about what your core product offering is as well. And don't go off on the shiny things to the left and the right, and get distracted by what's actually bringing home the bacon, that's actually making you the good money that your core business is offering to your clients. Because you'll go after these shiny things on the left and the right, and obviously then things will go astray, basically, and awry. Third bit of advice is come and speak to a great accountant about what tax you're going to pay, how you're paying, and what you need to say for it as well when you're starting out in business. So there's your 3 pieces of advice.
I love it. And what's your favourite book?
My favourite book, I have to say, I loved the Chris Voss book. That was the one we've done so far that I've enjoyed the most. Never
Split the Difference. Really cool.
Yeah, it never split the difference.
I love it. I love now, where, how. It's so simple, isn't it? Now, where.
A lot of people will write a big, thick business plan, but it can be distilled down to a sort of an A3 page with now, where, how.
Love it. Now, where, how. I'm going to steal that, I think.
I've stolen that as well, Alan. So
I really like the focus on what's important. Don't let shiny object syndrome drag you off in different directions. What is it? Start with the end in mind and be deliberate towards that. It kind of plays into now, where, how as well a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
And the third one goes without question, speak to a great accountant. And
it does.
Make sure you choose an accountant that's going to help you and even hold you accountable.
Yeah. That I think is the next thing, I probably need to think about little bit more. You can have the conversations with businesses, you can do the now, where, how, but again, it's then holding people a little bit more accountable is probably something that I need to develop in myself, is probably what I need to look at next for me.
Interesting. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure having you on, Andrew.
No, it's been lovely to chat. Thank you, Alan.
I'll speak to you very soon. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.